What is up, everyone? Welcome to another fun-filled stream. How about some clapping? So, this is part 3 of the bear build. I wanted to get just a little bit done. I don't know how much time this week I'm going to have to build, but the other 2 streams, we got the frame put together and we got the Y-axis done, and that is the main portion. If you're doing just the straight bear build, that's the main portion of the bear upgrade. All the different Y-axis parts, that's a lot of the upgraded stuff, retrofitting it to the aluminum frame. Now we're going to hop over. There are a few other bear parts, like he also has extended versions, right, for different extruders, Mera, all that kind of good stuff. But I'm just doing the stock Mark III bear upgrade. So we're at the point right now where we're going to switch to the Prusa manual, and we're going to put together the X-axis, then the extruder will be put on, then that will be pretty much all the moving parts. We have to put the bed on and all that good stuff. But I thought we'd go ahead, set up a stream, and get a little bit of work done if we possibly can. All kinds of awesome people in the chat. David Olson is here, Michael Fox, Mr. Buttram, Sonic Beast. Chris Cable is here, Michael Cassell. I'm going to miss some folks, but Tinkerman, but thank you all for coming to the stream. I don't know how many streams this is actually going to take, but I am getting fewer and fewer parts on the table, so that's a good sign. So, how is this better? Is it just stiffer? Well, that's what I'm aiming to find out. It's definitely going to be more rigid than having that flat frame bolted like it is. People say it's a lot better. I really don't know 100% if it's better or not, but that's my main goal, is I want to put this up against a Mark III and just compare a lot of prints and see how it turns out. So we'll see eventually. Let me find some instructions. Okay, so I still need to put some. I did go back and kind of spec this out a little bit and look at it and make sure it was all nice and square. It is moving very nicely. It is very square, so I'm totally happy with that. I did need to come back and put some zip ties on my rod holders here, but that's not a big deal. I'll take care of that real quick. What's up, 3D Jimmy? These Y rod holders actually fit very well. They're nice and tight. So today was another fun-filled day of fear, but let's take a couple of hours and build a printer and forget about all that for a minute. I have found little improvement with my bear. Okay. All experiences are welcome. Come on. Chris Cable, I am also in IT.
Going stir crazy at home.
Jimmy, man, you're awesome. That's all I got to say. Thank you very much. That is so much appreciated, and I completely understand where you're coming from. My wife works at an elementary school. They're not going back to school until April 6th. We are work from home permanently until the 12th. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a struggle, but we'll get through it. Yes, and Print and Play. James at Print and Play is here, and I apologize. There are people that do streams typically like every Monday, and I'm overrunning your stream, and I apologize for that. But I really need to get some of this done. I'm sure if you stream anyway, if you're streaming right now, but you're in my chat or you're getting ready to stream, let me know. I will get a link to that stream so everyone in this chat can go check it out. I don't mind doing that at all. Yeah, we'll just see. We're just gonna see how much it improves it. That again. I'm a skeptic as well. So that's why I decided to do it. Plus, they look cool. I mean, I really like the colored extrusion. They have some really awesome colors. I just think it's going to make a really neat looking printer. Plus, this gave me an excuse to make one that's completely orange. And that's always a lot of fun. Okay. So now we are on Prusa directions. So, it's just a standard X-axis build. Gusner was on here last night. He's probably asleep right now. He told me about these linear bearing adapters you can put on your grease that does all four, like all the rails at once. This thing is really handy. If you use Super Lube, these types of containers, and you want to get those bearings packed, go check these out. I'll try to leave a Thingiverse link in the description of this video for anybody watching this back. But that's pretty cool. I like that. That's a nice idea. Yeah, Jimmy's Jimmy from NASA. Edutech is on now. Yeah, I realize there's a couple of people that are on. Should have printed the base orange. Yeah. Okay. So, we need some parts. Let's get to building. Ooh, I have a couple of these. Oh, no, I just have the two. I think I ended up printing doubles of some of these. I build them, I pull the parts down into the slicer, and I build them kind of a plate at a time. And sometimes I tend to get copies. That's okay. Extra parts. These have, a couple of these I pre-greased them because of I wanted to try that thing out, so we'll start with those. These are not necessarily the easiest things to press in here. They've actually improved these parts quite a bit. If you mess with Prusa printers before, the old version, they didn't have a lip around the bottom of these X carriage holders. So if the print was just not quite the right tolerance, it would the bearing would actually fall out the bottom while it was printing. I had that happen once. So these are much improved over the previous generations. And the easiest thing to do, I had a socket or something that was perfectly sized to press those in there, and I won't be able to find it, I'm sure. But I actually like to push them all the way through and then back the top one up a bit. I think they work better that way. So we'll just use a spare bearing. Jerry from 3D Printing and Paintings here. What's up? These, I am going to, I greased 3 of these yesterday because I was going to try out my grease part. But, I still have a couple to do. So the ones I'm using right now have already been greased, yes. Yeah, you know, the thumbs up reminder, people do that in chats, and I always appreciate that, because I forget to thumbs up. It's always something I forget to do when I'm watching streams, so That is always appreciated, whether it's my stream or someone else's stream. There's that one. Tristan, you're saying I should put one in one side and one in the other side? If that is the case, you can't do that with Prusa parts anymore. They have a built-in lip around the bottom to keep them from sliding out. Hey, that's very nice of you to say. I am glad that you have learned from the videos. That's always nice to hear. I appreciate that. I will do my best to keep the passion of 3D printing going. Some days are harder than others, but I still really enjoy it. So these are Prusa parts, Tristan. These are Mark III parts. There's those. Yeah, commonplace on the internet. That if it's one thing that I can bring to you, it's going to try to be a commonplace on the internet. Brian Weber, how's it going? I did a fair job on that one. This one I know I did pretty well. Yep. This one could probably use just a little spin. So, for the people that have never built one of these, so Prusa recommends if you build it, when you put the bearings in, you've got one stacked on top of the other. If you offset them by 45 degrees, because there's just lines of balls inside that linear bearing. So if you take one and twist it about 45 degrees, so it's evenly pressed against, or evenly supporting that rod. It's just a tip. It's not going to make a huge difference, but over time, you might benefit from it. So it's a good idea to do it anyway. Sometimes I don't remember. Hello, Jonathan. All right. We need I need a placeholder, tighten screws. That is probably a square nut, maybe? Do they show? Yes. Square nuts. I actually found another. I got rid of some of the cardboard boxes and dumped some of this out. I actually found another sack of squares in here somewhere. And of course I tried to get organized, so I can't find it. Maybe I'll dump them back in that box. I don't remember what I do from one day to another. So we'll just get this back out. Suggest I use the bare parts. So, are you telling me that I'm getting ready to find out that something's not going to fit? Is that what we're getting at here? Yeah, I'm trying to get this thing built. Yeah, yes. Is this a link? James, is that a link to your stream? What length is that? That's an 18. 18. Okay, so there's James just put a link in the chat a little bit ago.
I am planning on building a vor and wish me luck.
Nice, nice. Good luck for sure. I don't know a whole lot about those builds. People have asked me about them before. Don't have much information on it, but I should go check it out one of these days. What was I saying? Yeah, James posted a link to his stream. So if you want to check out his stream, you want to watch 2 streams, there's the link for it. Please don't feel obligated to watch this stream because this is not my usual time slot. I'm just trying to get some stuff done. Spare parts. You won't get the full 255. Okay. Better than a CTC. Okay, nylock nut. What length is that one? 18. Alright. And there's the bearing I'm looking for. Hello, Dan. Carl Brown is here. What's up, Carl? Chris Galata is here. What's up, Chris? Travis Stamper. I don't know if I said hi to you. Hey, Travis. Some more bearings. Abraham is here. What's up? I've been doing all kinds of different, usually I stream at 10 a.m. on Sundays. That's kind of my slot where it works out best for me. But I've been doing all kinds of different time slots lately, it seems like. So I'm always interested to see who shows up in different time slots. Based on if you're sleeping or not sleeping. So it's good to see everyone. So the rods came from Prusa. So these are Prusa rods. These bearings are from Masumi. And Masumi makes a pretty nice bearing. It's not the quietest bearing in the world, but they're pretty nice. They're a step above the stuff you get off of AliExpress anyway, I can tell you that. To use MKX access on the bear frame, I'm not sure it's the only bearing carriage for that. We'll just have to see, I guess. We will make it work one way or another. I have faith in our abilities. I very much do. We can fix it with the right amount of live streams. tight fit, huh? I have a piece of plastic in my sight window. How can I tell if it's properly seated if that's in there? Just a pinch more. The first print will definitely be orange in color. Absolutely. What's up? Okay. X-axis, gear up. We need a motor and a pulley. They did, even on these after the fact motor kits, they did label all of the wires and give you the correct lengths. So that's awesome. We got some stuff going on in chat. I'll get to it in just a second. Carl, talking about guitar strings. I don't know if I said hi to Carl today. Hey, Carl. Kit is here as well. Hello. A pumpkin? Yeah, not a bad idea. The second SKR E3 controller board that went up in smoke. Some suggestions for some other boards. It's too expensive to buy. TH3 easier shipping to Sweden. So a replacement for a Creality board that isn't an SKR version. Well, unfortunately, the only ones I know of are from here in the US. I don't know what TH3D gets for a board, but there are a couple of other companies that offer boards that do that same thing. But I guarantee they won't be very cheap. So, I mean, you could always go with the Creality Silent board. It's like, I want to say it's like $35 though. It's not as cheap as the SKR boards. So unfortunately, I really don't have a good answer for you. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe is there a European company making boards like that? Yeah, I mean, so there's a lot of boards like Ryan is saying. Welcome, Ryan, by the way. Like Gen L boards, you could go the MKS route, but as far as I know, those aren't drop-in. You would have to do some sort of altering to the case, or come up with a creative solution. And if that's not a big deal, there's you can get a ton of different boards. But as far as drop-in goes, SKR is going to be the cheapest game in town. 3D Print Vikings here. What's up, JT? My man from Australia. How's it going? TH3D's $100? Wow. Seems high. I don't know what boards cost to make. Seems high. Cool. Haribo time. Man, I should have got some Haribo. And that step is done. Putting on the Z. We already did that. We did that. Then we gotta press some M3 nuts in. Support ain't cheap, that's for sure. I'm not by any means a businessman. I'm all consumer all day, so I really would not know. This one's always tricky for me. I can never get my fingers in there to put that inside nut in there. It's gonna be, yes. JT, it's pretty much already that way now, right here. It's getting more ridiculous every day, let's put it that way. But I was telling them earlier, we'll have a nice stress-free stream and we'll forget about it for just a little while, right? That's all we can do at this point. I believe JT is in some sort of IT as well, if I'm not mistaken. So he also feels our pain. Richard, thanks for joining the stream. I'm glad you got to catch one. Cool. Chris Travis is here. What's up? Have you ever heard of the Z-axis belt? You don't need to use any rods. I don't know that I've ever seen one without rods. I mean, or extrusion or something. I've seen them run, wheels on rails. I don't know. Maybe I have, and I don't know it, but I can't recall it off the top of my head at the moment. Let's put it that way. Absolutely, Travis. It's things are going crazy. 18s. There's a lot of 18s in this build. VPNs everywhere are going to be crashing at random. Have the screws needed for the Mini? I don't know. I haven't looked at that one yet about cloning and all that good stuff. I do intend to clone it at some point. Doesn't the Voron use belts? I don't know. Now you got me curious. I'd have to go look. I'll make a point to go look at those. Like I said, people have been telling me about them, but I never got around to taking a peek at it. They have to go into work. Yeah. I both miss and don't miss hourly sometimes. The money was quite a bit better, it seemed. Because we worked around the clock. I know I'm missing stuff. What is the cost of this build? I am not sure, but I'm telling what I've been asked that a couple times so far. What I'm speculating is that it's over $1,000 because I didn't buy the Prusa kit and sacrifice it for this build. I sourced it all separately, which is a little higher. So yeah. Yep, same here, Chris Travis. We never close. Never, ever. All right. It's always good to build when you got grease on your hands. Isn't that a lovely feeling? You don't want to get the edge of those rods screwing up your bearings. And that one just totally shelled it. Which one was it? This one lost like 5 or 6 balls. That ain't gonna fly. Alright, I'll look around at some of the different parts. I think we're gonna go for with yes, I agree. I used my handy new grease thing. I should have tried those bearings before I pressed them in, is what I should have done. Because that one is not well. Giles, what's up? Hello, Kelly. So the bottom one looks like it's in pretty good shape. And it is. This one, however, does not look so good. That one looks like it actually is defective. One of the tracks is risen a little bit. Let's see if we can find another one. Not the first linear bearing that I've had that happen to. I was watching the stream back a little bit, Tom. They're Prusa orange, but they look red on the camera, and there isn't any sort of adjustment that I can make it look orange. It's just so orange it blasts out the camera. Yeah, I mean that's the purpose of these builds, right? I'm gonna run into the same stuff that you guys are gonna run into. Yeah, and I don't know if it's just because of the way the light is up here in the front is what's blasting that out. These aren't the highest quality cameras in the whole world. But yeah, it does. No matter what I do, the orange, this bright orange color always looks red. It seems like, anyway. They're two completely different types of orange, too. So you have orange and, you know, that makes it a little confusing as well. You don't want to stab yourself. I want to make sure that was the bad one. Alright, let's try that again. Salty Badger, what's up? It's almost like a, it's a little, I would say it's like a light copper color almost in person. It looks a little different on camera. I never see that one. I need to, so in OBS you have to set the order of the scenes, and they get all jumbled sometimes. See, that one shouldn't be over that one. Oh well. We got a new Patreon supporter. Much appreciated. It's a stress-free day. No stitches today. Tom S., we hope you are doing well. I don't know if I said that twice, but I still hope you're doing well. Unless you bleed while building them. Sometimes that's just how it goes, right? Oh, nice. So, Richard, you're slowly getting your parts. I don't know all of my Prusa upgrades off the top of my head. What is the Haribro upgrade? I've heard of it, but I don't know exactly what all that details. The bear upgrade, I mean, at the beginning, and he's done a lot more since, but at the beginning, the bear upgrade was just a swap over with, you know, with an aluminum frame. There really wasn't much else to it. No one makes me bleed my own blood. No, I'm just trying to get some builds done. I'm still working from home. They have forced us to work from home. I'm just trying to get some builds done, basically. I've been neglecting to do this build for months and months. So I thought it was a good time. Go ahead and get it done. Plus, you know, people are at home. Maybe they want to watch streams. I don't know. Seemed like a good idea at the time. I don't know. I would have to ask Greg that question, but I'm gonna guess that the AM8 came first. That would be my guess. I don't know. Hans, hello, welcome to the stream. It's all different frame options. People in the chat can explain it better than I can. I'm not sure all the different variations of these builds. No, this build was intended to just be a bare build. It's a Prusa Mark III that has an aluminum frame. Everything on it is going to be Prusa Mark III so that we can do a side-by-side comparison. That's what I intended to do with this one. I do intend to do another bare build where we do all kinds of crazy crap. So whatever, this one's all gooey too. You know, high-end parts, 32-bit boards, stuff like that. So I do plan on doing another one of these, but I really want this one to compare it to the Prusa Mark III, just for fun. Zarbo printers. Now, Zarbo is a company. I know that. But wasn't Zarbo a thing before it was a company? Wasn't that like some type of build that people did? The only difference, the Prusa is already metal, but they use 3030 extrusion connected to a flat frame. This one is all 2040. And it's orange. Because I'm a genius? Well, it's very nice of you to say that, but I don't think that's the case. I'm just another guy in a basement. I have to say, Greg did a really nice job designing some of these parts. The guy in the basement, that's right. It turns nice and smooth-ish. I'm satisfied with that. Looks good. Every time they show me gummy bears, I'm sad inside. Now the extruder part. I always kind of dread building this style extruder. It's not that it's a bad design, it's just there's a lot of parts and I don't know. I'm just complaining, that's all. Another basement dweller. Thanks for stopping by, GT. Always good to get a time slot where we can at least chat for a moment. Take care, stay safe. Bondtech extruder. Definitely want to test one of those out. I have a Bondtech Mosquito setup that I've been really wanting to put on something. So that will probably be a good choice. I need 2 square nuts. I am using the stock Prusa X and extruder setup. Yes, I'm using the stock Mark III extruder 4. It doesn't have to stay that way, though. I mean, you have sad face, Tristan, and I understand. But you know it doesn't have to stay that way. It's just going to go together that way right now. Every day's a new day in 3D printer land. And that's kind of what I'm checking out. I don't know that it's a must-have upgrade, but it is kind of a cool upgrade. I mean, it looks cool. We'll see how it goes. I would like to get... I'm interested when they start selling buddy boards outright. I will definitely get one, because I would like to mess around with it. That would be fun. There you go, now it's operating correctly. Ham Rice Larry, one of my favorite guys. Thank you very much for becoming a Patreon. Adam in 3D. Man, Patreons are stacking up. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Oh, so that's table. That's why it's... So what's different about table and the seating? Uh-huh. Gotcha. Table goes up here. Nope, I messed the wrong one up. Front cam, table, and then ceiling was up here, and it needs to go down here. That should be better. Cool. Yeah, I do have that one. That one's sitting over here on the desk still. The one that I revealed all of the metal underneath, so now it's kind of almost a gold color. That was fun. Now what was I working on? This is going together. We're good there. The magnet set. The magnet set for this type of filament sensor is parts that you can't get from Prusa. You have to find somebody that sells a kit unless you want to buy a billion of the parts. I really didn't want to, so I found this one from some seller on Amazon. They would sell you all the screws and the magnets to use this sensor. Also a cellar dweller. You might want to use center sound channel on your live streaming software instead of using stereo. Interesting. What size? 18.
Stay safe. Love the channel. Looking for dual extruder printers so that I can print water soluble supports between 500 to 1500 for a school.
It paused on silent. Print water? Matt, thank you very much for the 5. Dual extruders so you can print soluble. A lot of the dual extruder setups that I've seen did not go so well. They're just not very good configurations. Unless you get into like the IDEX configuration. And I'm not sure what your options would be for something that was semi-affordable in that config. I don't have one, but maybe someone in the chat can recommend something. But I think using soluble supports like that, a true independent extruder setup, would probably be the way to go, instead of having that side-by-side carriage. Yeah, he paused from on me, going like, what? Yeah, see, Ultimaker, but they're always going to be a lot higher than that. Gotta make sure your magnet's in the right way. And you really can't tell until it's in there. There you go. Jordan, what's up? Yeah, Taz is going to be a little high as well. You are correct. So I'm not sure the best... That would be interesting to know, though. That would be good information. What is the best solution for a cost-saving IDEX setup? Anybody see a steel ball bearing rolling around here anywhere? M10 screws, where's my motor? Here it is. M10 screws. Pete C, what's up? Hypercube Evolution build. It's on the list. I got all the parts. I got to get it going. I'm hoping to start on that next, after I get this one done. Stream problems? There's probably all kinds of people on the interwebs trying to find something to do everywhere. This is the case of screws that I've built over the last 4 years. The first scratch build that I did was log, where I actually had to source all of the hardware itself. And when I started that project, every time I'd run into another size, I'd just buy 100 of them. Because from AliExpress, if you have 3 or 4 weeks to wait, you can order 10 for $1, or you can order 100 for $3. So every size I ran into, there's a lot of different sizes on a Prusa. When you're doing a Prusa clone, you're going to have the same kind of thing. So that's how I developed all of these different screw sizes. It would be really cool if you could buy just a kit like this. But nope, that's a collection that I've created by hand. We're just going to get that close because I'm going to want to adjust this with some filament a little later. Mine is low, so there's 3 tiers. Mine is the one in the middle. I think that is low latency, yes. It could be. I haven't dropped any frames. Let's see what YouTube says. YouTube says excellent connection. So I don't know. We are streaming at 1080. YouTube is getting it at 1080 in low latency. So I don't know where the disconnect is, but hopefully it's good enough. Let's take a look. Cool. All right. Okay. Front extruder cover, square nut. Huh, interesting. We're overrunning extended OBS studio stats. Okay. Hot end, I need 2 10s and 2 40s. I will have to... So, I'm not sure how I ordered this hot end. Because, I say that because there are some options when you order from printed... Hey, those are the ones I was looking for earlier. When you order from Printed Solid, they will sell you a V6 hot end. Now, what is this? They will sell you the Prusa hot end, which is a little different than the genuine, the V6 hot end that you would get directly from E3D. This says Prusa V6 on it, so I'm guessing I got the Prusa hot end. So I will have to build mine. Not that it's a huge deal. C.S. Wilson Prince. Awesome. Thanks for joining the stream. I don't have a video out there currently for the 1.4. I do have a 1.3 video. The boards are really similar, but I am currently working on a 1.4 video. I did not get a kit. So the only kit part of this is the frame. The frame is a kit, but it's just the frame and the brackets that hold it together and some of the screws for that frame setup. Everything else, I sourced it piecemeal from Printed Solid, Prusa, All 3D Maker, anywhere that I could find it. And as soon as I get time, I'm going to put together a BOM for all the stuff I bought, including links to where you can get it. Unfortunately, everywhere that I bought parts, I have no affiliate links for. So I won't even be making any money off of it. It's just so that you can source all the parts if you would like to do this sort of silly thing yourself. It's not the most cost-effective idea, put it that way. What is the difference between the E3D and the Prusa Hotend? There's some speculation there. And if there are any Prusa fans or E3D fans, they might know the speculation that I'm talking about. I believe, now I'm not 100%, and I'm sure chat can correct me, but I believe the difference is Prusa uses a heat break that its internal diameter is 2.2 millimeters, and E3D uses a 2 millimeter. I believe that is the only difference. Now, as far as the heater and thermistor go, thermistor is the same. The heater is different. On a standard V6, you get a 30 by default. On a Prusa, they come with a 40. So those are the differences that I know. Unfortunately, the new Prusa kits come with a pre-cut tube, and I don't have a pre-cut tube. I saw a tube running around here the other day that I thought went with all of this. Oh yeah, this is it. Where is... There it is. You could. I have never heard of a bare kit for an A20M, personally. Maybe someone in chat has. You could source the parts for a Prusa if you did it through China, cheaper. And I have done that. But sourcing, if you sourced all the same parts that Prusa uses, parts from E3D, LDO, companies, the same parts that they use, it's going to be quite a bit more expensive. Yeah, that is also important to mention. The Prusa hot end is, yes, 100% built by E3D. It's an E3D product. It's just a little different. These kind of have a V shape to them, so it feeds the filament in a little bit. But a razor works in a pinch. Just don't cut yourself. I think that'll do. Looks good to me. All right. So we're gonna put, these are kind of an interesting order since they've redone, I think these are R5s. Since they've redone some of these parts, the order gets kind of interesting because you kind of have to tighten these at an angle with a ball-ended wrench. So you gotta put those in first. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do to make my life a little easier? I probably have another one somewhere that was made for this. I just didn't want to find it. But thank you. What is the next go-to hot end? E3D and Slice Engineering are probably the front runners in the market, I would guess. Slice Engineering is still kind of new to the game. They still make, there's still a company out there making J-type hot ends. I believe the company is called Hotends. I don't really recall. What's the other one? That I can't think of at the moment. Most of the time you see E3D stuff though. Some of the companies didn't go the E3. Some of the companies that have been around for 5 years or so didn't go the E3D route. They created all of their own hot ends, which Prusa is now starting to do again. But like Lulzbot had an all metal hot end. That wasn't bad. It was the old octagon or whatever they called it. I don't remember what they called it. Well, 1.4 turbo work on an ANET. It should work on an ANET just fine. There will be some configuration that has to be done that might not be super straightforward. But yeah, it would work. These set screws. Ubis, yeah, the ones that were made out of what were they made, like Peak? They had a plastic plastic, I don't know if what you would call it, heat sink or whatever. They are still around. I have all the parts for a printer bot build, and I was looking around at what I could use for it. And yeah, they're still cranking those out. This can be kind of hard to hold onto all at once. But it's got screws through the back. So if you don't keep it off the table, it's hard to deal with. But we'll get there. Yeah, what was it's a Simple Plus? Simple Pro? Whatever the last one they made was. I ordered it from, Brooke had a bunch of just the metal pieces left over after they went out of business. Printerbot is coming back, that's what I hear. That's what I hear. Now they said these were 40s. I guess it's okay if these go through the back, I really don't remember. A brick. I get all kinds of ideas for creative names for printer builds. Alright, so that's built. Now building this X carriage piece, this is the one that you constantly dropping the square nuts out of while you're trying to put all the other ones in there. It's like keeping the water in a dam with your fingers. Thank you, yeah, it's looking pretty good. Yeah, part-time job, that's all I need. I'm trying to farm out some of the work I got now. He's about 4 hours away from me, just for reference. This one, come on. That one just don't want to go in there. In some places, yes, there are quarantines. Well, officially they're not quarantines, but every place is shutting down. So it's kind of like a quarantine, but they're urging us to stay at home, if possible. There's no place to go, so it's pretty easy to do. Okay. A couple more of these. I printed all of the parts. I know I'm missing a lot in chat. I'm sorry about that, but those are all metal parts. All the black parts you see are metal parts that came with the frame kit. Yeah, if you go to search for Prusa Bear GitHub, go there and get your parts. That is more up to date. There's actually a 2.1 version that's getting ready to go to be the master branch. Hopefully that happens soon. Greg is working on it. But you search for that because it's going to give you the 2.0 parts. but there are some upgraded parts, some updated ones to 2.1. So if you're going to go get those, I'm not sure what's on Thingiverse, but I know if you go to the GitHub, then you'll be current. So I suggest doing that. The printed material, this is all Prusa mint. Do they call it Prusa orange? Or do they just call it orange? It's Prusa mint PETG. And it is called Prusa orange. So there you go. Saving with this build over a Prusa Mark III? None. The piecemeal parts, buying the parts like I did, you're spending quite a bit more for this. Because the frame kit is somewhere around $140 or something. And then you have to buy all of the Prusa components. It would be cheaper to buy a Prusa kit and a frame if you wanted to build one of these. But I just couldn't see myself killing a Prusa kit like that just to build one. So I decided to scratch build it. Again, I'm going to do my best to get some sort of list of parts and prices so you can get an idea of what this is going to cost if you'd like to do it. Make it a little easier for us to source. And that includes, Zarabo has a lot of these parts as well for the people in the UK or in Europe. Make it a little easier. So I will try to get all of those links out there for you as well. That's going to be a lot of work actually, but I'll get it done eventually. Don't want to pinch any of the wires. So I'm telling you, I'm going to put this on before I... If you turn it even slightly, you lose the squares. It is too bad about Murph, but I agree it is for the best. Hopefully we can catch up on it later this summer. Find a time to reschedule. This wrench is almost wore out. Just came in. That seems to be pretty typical. I have not used a P3 steel. I know a couple of people that have them. Taking one for the team. That's right. That's kind of what I do. Can I ask you to look at my printer's page before I go live? Sure. Send me an email. The email is out there on the on YouTube. It's like it's called the About page or something. It's out there, so feel free to send me an email. I will take a look. I don't mind. Okay. Filament sensor. It's in one of those little foil deals. Right here. That's what I should have done, Patrick. That's a great idea, actually. There are a couple of things, square nuts and pressed in nuts in particular, that I just endlessly fight and never come up with a solution for. But that's what makes life interesting. That is a tiny little wrench. I'm missing stuff, sorry. Yeah, I don't know that I would go a clone kit. Who knows what you're going to get in that thing. But Prusas are great, man. I mean, it's not the best printer in the whole world. You know, we can't expect that. But for the money and, you know, the print quality you're going to get out of it, they're pretty darn good. What actually holds that one in there? Pretty darn good. I don't regret any of my Prusa purchases. Which would you say is the best printer? I mean, I would give it to Prusa for all around. You know, best print quality, affordability, support, price. I don't know that you can get better than that at that price point for $750. Support is a big thing. I mean, where am I going to place the spool holder? That's a pretty good question. I don't know. I'm sure there's all kinds of cool designs. I know that there is a design that goes on that, you know, the regular T-handle design that Prusa uses that goes on that frame. But maybe we can find a cooler one than that. Because that's not the most awesome spool holder in its own right. It's fine. I use it because it's there, but you know. Filament sensor is now plugged in. Okay, a couple of more 40mm screws. Don't mount it on top. There's that. 14s. Where's my fan? I know it's right in front of me. Oh, I have two of these. That's my blower fan. here's the E3D fan. Did I not order a fan for this? Not sure that I did. I thought I actually got a Noctua fan for this build. I'm almost positive that I did. I'll have to go back and look. I have fans that will fit it, but I was planning on going with a stock fan. I could throw this fan on there. Maybe we'll wait on the fan. Wonder where that went. Thought I had another box of stuff someplace. It's pretty easy to put on later, though. Almost positive. Huh. Well, I guess I'll put this sun and fan on there for now. Onto the it could be anywhere. But to continue on with the build, I will put this fan on there. And the sun and fans are actually they're cheaper for one, but they're almost as quiet as a fan, as a Noctua fan, but they do kick out quite a bit more air. So it's kind of an upgrade, but not as quiet. I want you to do 14s on these. Yep. So we'll go with this. We're getting quite the mess of wires going here. Kind of a slow Monday crowd on the YouTube tonight, huh? People are tired of seeing the many different streams of the bear build, aren't they? Okay. 14. Can't find my electrical connectors. When I had 20 viewers, absolutely. I remember those days. It wasn't that long ago. It wasn't that long ago. I'm always somewhat surprised about the number of viewers we have sometimes. But I'm glad you all like to come. That's why I do them.
$200 Russian rubles to feed the bear. GL assembling it.
Thank you very much for the 200 rubles. That's awesome. I don't think I've ever gotten rubles before. Thank you for that. No more FKB is kind of sad. I agree. It was good while it lasted, though, right?
Keep the party going.
Thank you very much for the $2, Dave. Appreciate that. I don't know what the schedule for the bear build is going to be like this week. Tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. I really don't usually have a lot going on for St. Patrick's Day. But I don't know what the schedule is going to look like for tomorrow. But I still do. Oh yeah, I was supposed to leave that one. I still do want to get this finished this week. So I would like for us to be printing benchies, very orange benchies, by this weekend. That's the goal. All right, my idler door right here. Tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, FKB was a stream that we did every Sunday, and we did it for over a year and a half or something like that. We did it for quite a while, but we recently discontinued it. Now, Glenn from Fun King 3D will be doing Sunday streams in that time slot. So there will be still a time, something for you to watch in that time slot. But the three of us together will not be doing them any longer. Seems like I've gotten like a million paper towels, and I just keep throwing them away. Yeah, so my streaming, it's kind of funny how the channel has evolved. Because of when I started to stream, I started always streaming on Sundays at 10 a.m. Well, a lot of the European folks would pop on those streams because it's a good time for them to watch. So a lot of our streaming crowd, a lot of the people that come to these streams, a lot of them are European. So when you move around to the different time slots, it's funny to see the different people that show up. And I mentioned that earlier. Like JT from Australia was on earlier. So it is kind of fun to get out of the typical streaming time slot so you can see a few different people. So that's awesome. But we have people from everywhere, and that's really cool. Seating this pin can be a little tricky at times. Oh, somebody did ask what motors. So these are all stock LDO NEMA 17 motors. They are the same motors that they use on the Prusa printers. They are all 1.8 degree motors.
Keep on making. Slightly smiling face. Thanks for all the content and must-do projects. Beaming face with smiling eyes, smiling face with
That's gonna explain all of them.
Hand grinning face with big eyes, cat face, bust in silhouette.
It still cracks me up that it explains all the emotions. Thank you very much, E. Ross, for the 5. I will do my best to keep making content. That PETG is just a little bit grabby. And I really don't want to break the part. I need something that I can go from the side here. There we go. And it still spins. We did it. Now's the time you realize it's on the wrong way. Actually, we did that one correctly. So let's take a peek at our filament alignment real quick here. Make sure we have a clear path. And it looks pretty good. Might need to shave just a touch off of that tube. Brian Vines. Yes, there's a lot of comedic value to be had with the explaining of the emojis. They're a good source of entertainment. Looks good to me. Idler door on. Get bigger hammer. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know how it does that emoji. So you have to. Bill retired, so he has to work from home tomorrow too. I hear you, man. I can't wait to retire. It's gonna be so great. If I ever get to retire. What is that? So that's a 40, and I need that. That's another thing that's somewhat difficult to source unless you buy a billion of them, is the extruder spring. You can get that spring from AliExpress. They're available. But again, it's hard to source this thing locally. So if you're going to buy some, buy like 20. It's also an item that I lose somewhat readily because if you have a jam or something like that and need to open it up, that spring likes to roll away and hide. So that's kind of one. There's 2 or 3 parts that are somewhat hard to source, and that is one of them. Yes, the Patreon build. That will be the build after this, and I owe the Patreon people an update. I got to get that done. I got to get that update out for you all. I plan on doing that very shortly. Maybe I can knock that out tomorrow and get a video out for everybody on the status of that build. But I will give you plenty of time before we start those Patreon streams so that you can weigh in on how we are going to build this thing. But it's going to be, as soon as I finish this one, I'll have this one done by the end of the week. And we'll start on that one. Just not enough time in the day.
Yesterday I sent $5 to Pokimane and that was a mistake. $. Should have gone here. Carrot. Carrot excited to see Bear spreading orange kit looking great. Heart.
Well, thank you very much, Austin, for the 5. I appreciate that. It should be fun. The bear should be a good time. 10, 10, 10, 10. Where's this one? What's that? 10. Yeah, I mean, you can get close, but it fits in a pretty precise hole. I mean, you could probably alter the part a little bit if you had a spring that was kind of close, but I just kind of tried to find what, the spring that I could get closest to the one that, I don't know that they're the exact spring actually, but they seem like they are, because they're not, I don't know where Prusa gets theirs, but they work. So that's the one. And again, that's where putting together the BOM for all of this is going to be somewhat valuable for people that want to build it. I always forget how this one goes in there. This one's kind of hard to get the wrench in. This is the part that tilts the part fan down to give it a better angle on your part. Awesome. That's awesome to hear that you're having good luck with the bear. I don't remember. Does Prusa still use ABS for their fan shroud? Does anybody know that? I'm going to say that they do. I did print one out of ABS, but it's still sitting over there on the printer. What do you say? Well, where's my PETG one? Here's my PETG one. What do you say we start with the PETG and see how long it takes to melt it? And then we'll know. Don't use PETG, it's a bad time. I don't know. That's because they still do give you a few black parts, and I was thinking that maybe the black parts were all the ABS ones. You use PETG and replace as needed. Well, let's stick this one on there for now. We'll see how long it lasts, right? Since I have it here on the table with me. I've got ABS ones. I've got an ABS one over there printed out. So if this one doesn't make it, we know where we can get some spares. What is that? That's a 20. But you use the blue sock, yeah. You printed yours out of PC. You know, I've got some really cool looking blue transparent PC. I could have this bright orange printer with a really crystal blue fan shroud on it. That'd be kind of funny. I also have some of that black sparkle ASA. That's always a good choice. Okay. Fan shroud is on for now. What time is it? 8:30. You mean wind mouth, that's right. I forgot. That's the official name. Wind mouth. '20s. Right. Mm-hmm. Hmm. It doesn't seat in there as well as I think it should. I'm going to pull that. I think I have everything in the right orientation. I'll pull that fan off there. Maybe there's a piece of something in there that is catching. 108 minutes, all right. $36 hours. Whoa. Hopefully I've printed all the right generations of parts. That's supposed to be the Prusa spec fan. Yeah. I don't know why it didn't work the first time, but it went right in that time. Oh well. Learning makes us grow. Ever used Nova Hotend? No, I don't know that one. I don't Nova that one. Just had too much. Yes. Paulo, thank you very much for the sub. Much appreciated. All right. Wonder if I stole. I'm still thinking about that Noctua fan. Wonder if I stole that for another build. Quick, somebody go back and watch all of the live streams and tell me if I stole that fan out of that box. I don't remember having a fan failure recently, but you never know. The pin to probe, the pin to 2 probe. Okay. The probe is on. The wires are a complete mess, so that's how I know I'm doing it correctly. And then you can put the cover on. It's right here. Printer withdrawals. Is there glow-in-the-dark ABS? I'm pretty sure I've had some glow-in-the-dark ABS over the years. Not go backwards. Oh, Tristan. Sure, it's lined up. Okay. Zip tie time. As long as all these are out of the way, we should be all set. It'd be better if I could see it, but we'll tighten those up a bit in a second. Let's divide our wires up here. Make sure we've got everything. Thermistor and heater, anything left should be good there. Now we need some belt. KVP has glow in the dark. Cool, good to know. I was going to say, I think I've seen that over the years. I don't really recall, but I believe I've had some. Get that in there. Let's estimate our length here, so we don't have to thread this whole giant belt through here. We can go on the long side. It should be okay. We can spare just a little bit of extra belt. Trasher K just built an enclosure. I am admittedly I am a Prusa fan. Anybody you ask would know that. But honestly, their ASA, the Prusa Mint ASA, if you can get a hold of it, is really good. I really like that stuff. It's good. It's good stuff. The ASA, the other one. What's the other one? Is it Polymaker? If you walk with me this way, I could tell you what it is. It's loud over here, but Color Fab ASA is really good as well. So those are the two that I have experience with being good. There's a couple of others that I've tried that were not as good. It seems to be somewhat inconsistent, not as consistent as the other types of plastic. And I don't know if that's just because not as many people make it, but those are the two that I've had good luck with. Well, I did get some extra belt, didn't I? Paramount, yep. I think Paramount's pretty decent stuff too. They have all the unusual colors that you never see. Like, you know, skin tone and things like that. Hopefully that will be tight enough, and the tensioner will take us the rest of the way. Gates belts are tough. If we have to reset it, won't be that big a deal. Okay. All right, Tom. We'll see you later, man. Back then. Yes, GT2, Gates Power Belt, whatever they call it nowadays. What do they call it? Power Grip, LL2G2. Back in the day when you didn't work from home, did you get to wear the uniform? You know, we started out in like shirts and ties. I hate to say that, 20 plus years ago, 21 years ago, and it is slowly digressed. Now there's nobody at my office, so nobody would know. The office I work at is just a data center, so there's really nothing. There's a few offices there, but not many people. So there really wouldn't be anybody to notice anyway. Okay. So let's tighten this side up a bit. See how good we did on our belt length. Looks decent. We can come back and make the final tension before we print. Seems pretty good. That's just motor noise. Yes, the Prusa Mini has been doing really well. The quality is great. I haven't had any issues with it. A lot of these parts were printed on the Mini, so it's doing good. Okay. We need... So the Prusa kits, if you've never built one, they give you a piece of nylon 3mm filament to use as... to use with your wire wrap to give it some sort of structure as kind of relief for the wires. So we need some of that. So let's get some of that. It won't be the cool black nylon that Prusa uses, but nylon nonetheless. If I can find it. Where to put it? I've seen it recently. I know I have. It's not on the wall. I need I probably have a piece of it just hanging around somewhere. I had it just the other day because I remember cutting a piece of it off to clean out one of the hot ends. If you have so I only use that nylon for this kind of thing. I actually send it to quite a few people that are building printers. But when you just leave it set out, you're not actually printing with it. It gets really saturated with water. So then when you go back, if you use it in a printer that's kind of gunked up or something, it will actually kind of have a steaming effect on the parts. It's kind of interesting. If I was 3mm, hey, no, that's not it. Huh. I don't know where it went to. It's kind of an unusual looking spool, too. It's kind of hard to miss. I'll check one more time over here. Oh, maybe this is it. There it is. Crisis averted. It was laying on its side. James is back. What's up, James? Yep, Bowden tube. That works pretty good too. Let's see. How long should we make that? Let's leave a little length. Remind me, it's back there. All right, a 40. So now we can put the back cover on. I'm not going to be on too much longer. I was going to try to get this extruder finished, but I still got a little ways to go. Okay, where is our cable guide? There it is. I'm just pretty impressed that I've had most of the printed parts so far. I did pretty good, I guess. But if we could get the most of the extruder done tonight, then we will be in pretty good shape to knock the rest of this out. Okay. Run all our wires through here. I'm going to cut those zip strips off too. Sometimes a screwdriver is a hammer. Whatever just happens to be handy. Those Milwaukee bit drivers, they've got all the bits in the handle, so they got a lot of nice weight to them, so it's very tempting to use them as a hammer. Those are about the handiest thing I've bought in a long time. Alright. Now we're starting to... Now we're starting to get somewhere. Okay. Looks pretty good. What's an easier way? Yeah, these. James is a fusion master. That guy can make anything in fusion. I wish I was that skilled. I can get around in fusion, but I am definitely not an expert. James has the skills. Tens. You can't make a box of these. There was quite the learning curve for me. I was much better in the old crappy 1, 2, 3D design. But, you know, it would blow up every 5 minutes when you tried to make something bigger than 10 centimeters cubed. But I knew that one really well. It was kind of a struggle for me to convert over to Fusion. I'm still not really good at it. I can edit parts and draw simple things, but it also, I'm not very fast at it. That's another thing. It's frustrating because it takes me a while to get all the stuff done that I need. That. Lars is awesome. He's I've watched him several times over the years trying to learn something in Fusion. Dan, awesome. We'll see you on the next stream. The timeline, yeah. I know the feeling on that one. Okay, so all we got left is the sleeving, and then we're done with this portion. So I think we'll just go ahead and complete it. What do you think? That's another nice part about having all these kits. Motor kits, filament sensor kits. They're selling, you know, Prusa fans and things like that that are intended to use on the Prusa, as you get all of the right connectors and all the wire links are accurate. So you don't have to mess around making new connectors. That's also a big bonus. This, what do they call it? Tactile sleeving is much better than the old spiral wrap. A lot of people like the automotive, the plastic crunchy type, as I like to call it, the crunchy type. That's the technical term. But I think this stuff is just about as easy. So let's call that good there. I like this stuff because you can kind of set the length of the sleeving by twisting it. You need it to go to a certain area or something. You can adjust it a little bit that way. Okay, I need some zip ties. And so this is the Orange Juicsa. I still think that's funny. I entertain myself. It says YouTube is not receiving enough video, so you might be experiencing issues at the moment. But no, I am not selling them. This is just a bare. It's a Prusa Mark III with an aluminum frame, so it's a bare kit. We're cockies here. It is not done yet. Are you shocked? Are you stunned? But I am almost done for the night. Don't you love zip ties? Then I need a couple down. Orange sleeving, yes! I will check that out, Pete, thank you. Construction cone, that's a new one. This is the Mark III, it's just the Bondtech gear extruder. It's all stock Mark III, except for the frame. Just backing up beeps when it retracts. Now that would be awesome. To give YouTube more video. Duty paid. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you in the stream. Welcome. Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe YouTube's just telling me I'm not energetic enough for their streaming service. All right. And done. More than happy with that. Links look good. I think we'll be okay. Excellent. I think that's a good place to stop.
Print the dang bear extruder.
I'll look into that. Bear extruder. I didn't print the bear extruder. That's later. We have to have side-by comparisons. You know how that goes. Okay, so that's where I'm going to stop today. We got a lot done again today, so awesome. Extruder's put together, X-axis is put together. It's starting to look more like a printer. We have the LCD to do. We got to get the bed put on. We got to do the electronics box, put the power supply on. So we have a fair amount of work. Maybe one more build stream and then a printing stream or something along that nature. It will be sometime this week. I'm not sure when, but I want to have this done by the end of this week. No such thing as later. Oh, we're going to have a lot of later. So anyway, this is where we're going to leave this one. Thanks to everybody that tipped. I always appreciate that. It's amazing. Thanks to everybody that hung out with me this evening on this impromptu stream to get some stuff done. But we will be back. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow or not, but we will be back definitely later this week with a couple more streams, and we're going to get this thing finished up. All right. Thank you, everyone. We will see you very soon.